Do you need a little more adventure in your life? Of course you do, we all do. But figuring out the best way to experience new places can be pretty difficult on your own. And you probably don't have time to make that happen anyway. That's why I trust Travel with Nikki when my wife and I are looking for new places to explore. Whether your ideal adventure includes hiking through jungles and tubing through caves, two things we actually did on one of our last trips, or if the adventure you're thinking of includes a little more rest and relaxation, maybe in a tropical paradise, Nikki can help you find it. My wife and I have worked with Nikki many times, and she has always been able to craft the perfect trip for us and whoever else is traveling with us. On a recent family cruise, she was able to find us some great excursions that were accessible to all of us, even those with mobility issues. And these were way better than anything offered by the cruise line. Nikki really got to know what my wife and I are looking for on our vacations, and that's what makes our trips so memorable. They're exactly what we're looking for. Nikki specializes in theme parks, all-inclusives, Hawaii and island explorations, but she can help get you organized for whatever type of travel you want. If adventure is calling your name, you can contact her through email. Her address is nikki@travelwithnikki.com, and Nikki is Nikki. You can also head to her website, travelwithnikki.com, to see how she can design a stress-free vacation for you. When you do, make sure to tell her who sent you. And now, on with the show. With the new school year underway, now is the time you might really start noticing some differences from last year. At my school, we seem to be losing friends and colleagues every year, which means we also have a lot of new faces in the building. How you handle the additions and subtractions you're facing right now can make or break your school year. This is Lessons We Forgot, and this episode is called Dealing with Loss. Do you ever wonder what Hawaiian kids do on Halloween? Well, if you're Bethany Hamilton, you go surfing. So that's exactly what she did back in 2003 when she was only 13 years old. At that point in her life, Bethany was already a professional surfer, and she knew the water well. On that day, though, instead of enjoying the ocean and the surf like she had expected, she suffered an unthinkable tragedy. While lying on her board, out of nowhere, a 14-foot tiger shark attacked her. In an instant, she lost her left arm, and she probably would have died without the quick thinking of her fellow surfers, including her father. Bethany would eventually recover, but obviously she'd never be the same. How could she, after suffering such a major loss? I feel like I've been really lucky in my life. I've never experienced anything as traumatic as losing a limb, and I would have a hard time telling you about the biggest obstacles I've ever had to overcome because honestly, I just haven't had to deal with all that many. But we do experience loss all the time at school. Every year we send our students on to the next grade or maybe to the building across the courtyard. Other times we are the ones who have to move on. I think loss hits us especially hard when our friends or colleagues, for whatever reason, go on to the next phase in their lives. Usually they aren't gone for good and they can still be a part of our lives, so it's not the same thing as losing them for real, but it's a loss nonetheless when they leave. It can feel like we're going to have to learn to live without one of our limbs. We rely so much on the people we work with. I can't imagine trying to do this job alone, and I'm sure I don't know all the things that have been done on my behalf that made my job easier. Whether they fill a leadership role at school or if they tend to get things done behind the scenes, losing a part of the team usually means we all have to figure out how to make things work again. When the person we lose is a friend too, we might never fill the void that they leave. We're left missing something. We'll never truly be the same. Bethany Hamilton didn't give up after her loss. She not only continued to surf after she recovered from her attack, she also became a best-selling author, and she created a foundation to help other people find their own worth and inner beauty after suffering their own losses. She was not the same after losing her arm. How could she be? When our lives get shaken up by the loss of a colleague, it can feel like it came out of nowhere, and it can feel like we'll have to learn how to do this job all over again. We have to figure out how to do all the things only they could do. And when that person is also a friend, it has the possibility to change so much more. They are the people we lean on, who we collaborate with, and who know us best. Once you recover from your loss, you will figure it all out. Eventually. We always do. If the person you lose played a major role in your school or seemed to be involved in nearly everything, it's going to take a while, but someone will step up. Or more likely, several people will step up to pick up the slack. It can take a lot of people to replace an expert when you lose one. But we will find a way to make it work. you will find a way to make it work. You might even find new ways to get things done. Eventually, you're going to find out how to get it done. Then, before you know it, people like you will become the experts that others can lean on. You will be able to share all that you have gleaned from the colleagues you got to work with in the past, along with all of the innovations you created. And eventually, it will be your turn for everyone to look to as the indispensable one. And it might seem like it's really far away right now, but at some point, you'll be the one trying to explain to everyone else why it's time for you to move on. There might be tears and even a few hard feelings, but we'll come to understand that you're right, eventually. But we'll never really be the same after a major loss like you. How could we be? Thank you for listening to this episode of Lessons We Forgot. I'm the host, Chris Winkle. You can contact me at lessonsweforgot@gmail.com, and please do. I'd love to hear what you think about the show and any suggestions you might have. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a friend. That is the best way to help grow the podcast. If you want to hear more Lessons We Forgot, we post new episodes on Sunday nights. And when you like, rate, and subscribe to the show or leave a comment, that also helps the show reach new listeners. If you really hate ads like me, I do have a Patreon site, patreon.com/lessonsweforgot. For only $1 a month, you can get the show without ads. I'm offering a free trial right now, so go check it out and see if it's something you'd be interested in. Thanks again for your support.